All right, well, Benji and Brady, welcome back into another episode of the Higher Up Podcast. We're diving back into just things that your dad taught you.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm excited because I feel bad. I don't feel like I've heard this one as much
Really?
as our previous things that we've gone
I'm very
through.
surprised.
I'm very surprised. When you showed us the episode and what the phrase was, I instantly said, I'm trying to remember a time I may have heard y'all say it. Now, the other ones,
It's probably because he used this probably more with family than
Yeah.
he did anything else.
Okay.
I mean, it wasn't not a business type thing, but it was more of a
well,
family.
that makes more sense. Look, the last episode I heard all the time because I talk too much. So I 100% understood about the labor pains.
Did we say that?
Yeah. Oh, that one hit close to home immediately.
Oh, our views went out the roof.
I knew when we had that one, I was like, well.
Hey, speaking of views, for those of you listening out there, we told you a few episodes ago that we were not only on Apple Music, but we were also on Apple Video on the same podcast. We just recently, Adam got us added to not just the Spotify podcast, but the Spotify Video podcast. So for you Spotify listeners out there, not only can you listen, you can also
It was
watch.
10 times easier to fix it for us than it has been for my church podcast because I can't get it figured out. So I'm glad we got it.
It's good. It gives you options
Yeah,
out there.
it gives you
Also,
options.
YouTube as well. So
Hey, look, I'll be honest with you. As an editor, it makes it a whole lot easier because now I don't have to edit a audio version.
one edit,
And
and then
one edit, upload, goes to everywhere.
there you go.
As soon as they started that, I was like, oh, this made the process so much faster. And it's not AI. I'm doing it. So,
Yeah, there you go.
well, all right. So let's jump right into it. So this is a saying that
Yeah.
your dad had, and I'm gonna have to read it because I told you this is kind of new to me. So I'm very interested. I don't know where this episode is going today. Have a good and godly day. And you said that's something that your dad. Is it something that you heard in the morning when y'all left for school, or?
Oh,
So
yeah.
talk me through it a little bit. Where's that come from, and how did he use it?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Brady and I probably heard it a lot. We would hear it going out to school in the morning. We'd hear it when we were getting out of the car, have a good and godly day. We'd hear it. He would tell close friends, that. And it was more of I think it was more of a tone setter, for us.
Yeah.
To remember what the right things are right that can do for you in life. But, sometimes somebody will tell you something, you get punched in the chest and you're like, you could be having the worst day of your life and have a good and godly day, and you're like, oh, all smiles again. So yeah, that's what I remember. Yeah. I mean, I think it's the same. I most attribute it to school, and I mean, I don't think even when we were in high school, I don't think he changed it. I mean, most of the time in elementary, but he was the one that really dropped us off at school every day because our school was like literally right around the corner from his office, but. Yeah, he would let us out and say, "Hey, don't forget, have a good and godly day." And it became one of those things that when he didn't say it, then you're like, "Hey, you all right?" Yeah, because it was just one of those phrases that just rolled. And even our kids, I mean, I know my kids even say it to this day. Sometimes it's like, "Hey, have a good and godly day," because they remember Granddad saying it. Because Melissa and I, we built a house. This is many, many years ago, but during the process of that, we actually lived with them for like 5 months, and so I think our kids were like maybe 3rd grade and 6th grade or something like that. But that Granddad would tell them going out the door, the same thing that he told us. And so for me, I think it was more of kind of what you said, Benji. But you don't know what's going to happen throughout the day. But no matter what happens, if you keep your focus on God, like if he becomes the focus of everything, then you will have a good and godly day, And to me, I forget, I know it's in Romans, but where it talks for God works out for the good.
8:28.
Romans 8:28. For the good of those who love him and are called according to his purpose. I think a lot of times
Actually, that's not 8:28. Sorry.
I think it is. No, I think it is. But I think that's kind of what he was referencing, because I think a lot of people have really gotten that verse out of context.
Yeah.
It's not for good. It's not for, I mean, yes, he wants it for our good, but that's not what he's talking about. The good that he's referring to is the more that we look like Jesus is the more that we grow closer to the Father.
Yeah.
So I think without him saying that's the good that he's talking about, and that's what our dad was, because he was a business guy. I mean, he
was deacon and elder in churches and led ministries and led business and all this stuff. You know, so he knew that it was about focusing on God. If he focused on God, everything else is going to take care of itself.
Yeah. So think about this. And for you listeners out there, I'm sure when you were younger, there was a commercial that you remember on TV that it didn't matter what commercial they had, you're always going to remember that slogan at the end. What was yours growing up? Do you have one in mind?
Oh man, first one that pops in my head is like spearmint gum. Wait, Mentos Fresh Maker. Start thinking about that. I mean, you can hear that jingle in my
for sure.
Mentos Fresh Maker in my head as I start saying it. But yeah, I mean that's something.
Mine goes way back.
Oh gosh,
It's Shake and Bake, and I helped. You remember that one?
Oh yeah.
I mean, all the moms remember that back then because that's what they used. You know.
Yeah.
You got one?
I used to remember like so many different commercials. I don't know why this one's popping into my head like right now. It's maybe because we're in the restoration industry, but it's we are farmers.
Actually, it's funny because I was about to mention that one too.
Yeah. And so they're gonna get some extra publicity from this episode.
Thank you, Farmers Insurance.
Yeah.
So my point is that's what we remember. Have a good and godly day. It's the same thing. We heard it so many times it became second nature. So if he ever did stop saying it, we moved out of the house. You know, went to college, whatever. You remember that. That was like what we remember. Have a good and godly day.
Yeah, I think it's important too. I mean, to have those kind of things with your kid, just to kind of touch on that, and on the business side, but with kids, like when our kids get out of the car every day, we always tell them, hey, I say it to them. I say, be a leader, and they'll say, not a follower. And I'll tell them, I was like, be the head, and they'll say, not the tail.
Yeah.
And so they'll
Above, not below.
So yeah, I haven't added that one in. I hadn't heard that one. That's good, but that's like that. I hope it's the same thing with them. And I know I can say the first half of each phrase, and they'll repeat it. And it's kind of one of those things. Maybe you guys did it with your dad too. I'll be like, Addie, be a leader, and she's like, not a follower.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, be the head, not the. I know not to be the tail, Dad. And so then she'll be out of the car. So,
But hey, that's something she will remember.
Oh,
for
she will.
the rest of her life.
She'll remember.
Yeah.
I mean, we always thought of, you know, he was giving us a charge. He wasn't saying goodbye. Like he was giving us a charge for the day. Some people, you know, as they get out of the car, they'll tell their kids they're going to school, hey, you know, have a great day. See you tonight or whatever. But I felt like Dad was sending us out on a mission. Like we're going to the mission field, whether it's school or wherever.
So take it, maybe break it down a little bit for us. Obviously, this phrase has meant a lot to you guys. It stuck out with y'all. Your kids hear it, they say it. So break it down a little bit for us. Like, why do you think it's impactful for you? And you know, just go through the phrase. What resonates when you hear that?
I mean, for me, you know, you ask yourself why these two words, good, godly, right? The good is how we show up, how we treat people. You know, we have a choice to make every day. The quality that we have in our work, where if you're listening out there, godly is our source. It's the one, capital O, we answer to. So he was saying, have a good day, but have a godly day.
Yeah.
That's what I think about it.
Yeah, I think it's going back to what we said earlier. It's all about focus, because you never can control what's going to happen to you. And this is one of the things he taught us too. You never can control what happens to you, but you can control the way that you respond.
Mm-hmm.
And so by him like setting the tone and the foundation of, hey, it's the first thing for the day. And, you know, before you do anything else, you know, he was the one that really, I mean, in the church that we were in too, but having your quiet time in the morning and your devotion and like, how do you start out your day? Well, this is an extension of that. It was, okay, before you do anything else, have a good and godly day.
Well, it's interesting to watch how you guys took that and really how it's phased into what you are, because your number one core value is honor God.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're taking just that one phrase, and you can hear how that being said to you guys before you get out of the car, before you go anywhere, whatever it was, it's now carrying over into your business. And I think that's something that a lot of leaders right now could think about. Well, what's one thing I can institute into my business, or something I can say, or something that I can use that people will be like, okay. And it's, you know, like you said, it's kind of almost like a rally cry.
Yeah.
Or, you know, like a charge, something like that.
I've always, you know, again, the two words together, he never wanted to separate them. I can't remember a time he would just say, have a good day.
No.
You know, he always used them together.
Always.
And I don't know that he ever said this or anything, but, you know, he always, a good day without God was empty.
Mhm.
And conversely, a godly day without goodness was hypocritical. And he always had the two go together. And, you know, good without God is performance. Godly without good is hypocrisy. We got to have both. Good day, godly day. And if you get back into the workplace, you know, which we'll go next for you business owners and managers out there, you know, there can be sometimes a false divide between Sunday and then here comes Monday.
Yep. So true.
You know, a lot of Christian business owners live like these are two different worlds, but they're not. Sunday is godly, Monday is business. Sunday is worship, Monday is work. But our dad refused to let that divide happen. He said, you know, no, they go together. Monday is just as much a sanctuary as Sunday is. And every day of the week. And I think that's why he would tell us, you guys, if you're needing help in your business, you can pray right where you're at. You don't have to be at church on Sunday. You know, great place to pray.
Yeah.
But you don't have to be at church to do that. You can do it from anywhere. Your calendar was just a form of stewardship, taking the time that God has given you in that, 168 hours a week that you have. What can I do to maximize my time?
Yeah.
And our team is the mission field. Brady and I have always done that. Our team is the mission field. We want our people to be successful. We want them to know our core values. You mentioned honor God being number one and people first, number two, you know? So again, every day is the Lord's. And that's what I think he meant by good and godly day.
Yeah. I remember, I think, our dad used to always teach us the mission field doesn't end at the end of the church parking lot.
Right.
That's right.
You know, and I think a lot of people look at it that way is, you know, they're like, well, this is my church life, my business life. Well, you can incorporate the two of those in the right way and do it the right way. So that way you can take the values and take those things and use it as a mission field.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like there was a book that we quote John Maxwell a lot on. We like that guy.
Just a little bit.
But there was a book, I can't remember the exact title, but it was something like, there's no such thing as business ethics. And you look at it and you're like, okay, well, what does that mean? And what he went through in the book was, there's just ethics. You don't have business ethics and personal ethics. You just have ethics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
that's
know,
good.
so it's if you don't have ethics, you don't have ethics, right? And so that's kind of what Benji was saying is, you know, work for our dad was a form of worship. You know, it's not just Sunday morning. It's not, I mean, we both really enjoy worship and leading worship. It's not just about the singing. It's not just about the preaching. It's not just about the prayer, but it's about doing everything you do to honor the Lord in what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And so I personally think it was a reminder for us, but him saying it out loud was repetition for him.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's
You know?
good thought process for that.
So it wasn't just, hey, y'all have a good and godly day. It was like, hey, have a good and godly. It's like a reminder to him to soak into his soul and to his spirit. Like, okay, I need to set the foundation today. I'm going to choose to have a good and godly day.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it sets that tone as you hear, and it's like you reciting something. Feels like you're saying it out loud. It's like, all right, I'm proclaiming it myself.
That's right.
yeah. So I mean, again, what does this look like? What does this look like at work every day? Okay. These are just a couple things you might want to, again, as Brady said before, if you're writing this down, don't do it going down the road. Just listen or put your, we'll give another plug to Granola out there, can record your conversation.
There you
as you're
go.
driving.
Yeah.
Granola, we appreciate you.
I think you can even do it on your Apple Watch now.
You can.
Saw it the other day.
Just a couple things. Do excellent work because it reflects the God that we serve every single day.
Yeah.
Treating your team with dignity because they are the ones that are the image bearers of what we do. Be honest in your emails, invoices, and your conversations. Good and godly day. Keeping your work even when it costs you. Serving customers like you'd serve family. Sometimes we all know that the saying is out there, the customer's always right. Okay. Now, it's our job to try to make it the best we can. Let's be honest. There are customers that, and I'm sure we just had a situation with Sammy moving her back into, she goes to Auburn. She'll be a junior this year. And they walk into the house, and the rental house that they're having right off campus has water damage, had some, mold and all, and was talking with the property management company, and they were just rude when they came up. And we were trying to approach it from the fact of, all we want to do is get this problem fixed. We're not trying to like get out of a lease or anything. We just want to fix the problem. And the guy on site was like, no, this is, there's nothing wrong with this place. You've paid your lease money. You're going to, it's rude. And so Sarah goes, sir, with all due respect, we own some ServPro businesses. Like, this is what we do every day. We have no problem fixing the problem if you want it fixed. He got his car and left. Like, the dude just hightailed it. And so we finally got up the chain. My point is, the customer's always right. We voiced a concern to someone higher up. The owner of the company came over to the house and he said, I wouldn't even let my own kids live here. Oh. Like, so he's actually fixed the problem. So my point is, serve the customers like you'd serve your own family. Take it a good and godly day. Praying through decisions instead of just powering through them. Guilty as served, me right here. Trying to make a way for something that I have no control over, that Brady was talking about. And then ending the day with gratitude instead of just, oh, thank God the day's over with. Yeah. Thank you, Lord, for the day you've given me. Thank you for the opportunities you've given me. Thank you for the blessings to be able to serve people in their time of need. So a good and godly day isn't measured on what you accomplish. It's measured by how you accomplish it.
Yeah.
No, I think that's good. I saw something the other day. You're talking about that. I saw something where it was a dad talking to his son. It was on something I saw on social media, and I guess it's probably Gracie's age. He's like 5-6 years old, having a rough day, and the dad's like, "Hold on, why do we have the attitude today?" And he was like, and he was very calm with it. He was like, "We have two different ways we can go. We can have a bad attitude, and it affect everyone, or we can take today and have a moment and realize like we have another day. It's a beautiful day outside. You're out here riding your bike. You're having fun. There's people that can't do this kind of thing, so we can figure out which attitude we want to take." So I think that, like you're saying, it lets you it puts that in perspective.
Yeah, for sure.
I think like, yes, we're going to have days where we're stressed. We're going to have days where we're tired. We're going to have days where we're ill with people we work with, the things that happen. But also in retrospect, those still minimal compared to what we could be dealing with, what we could be going on. So
yeah. Well, just a couple verses for you out there, because obviously the biblical foundation behind this, godly, have a good and godly day. Numbers 6:24-26. I'm paraphrasing. The Lord bless you and keep you. Let the Lord make his face shine upon you. There's actually a song out there called The Blessing. You're welcome to go listen to that. Colossians 3:17. Brady mentioned this a minute ago, but whatever you do in word or deed, do everything in the name of the Lord Jesus. And then Matthew 5:16, let your light so shine before others that they may see your good deeds and glorify them in heaven. And going back to our dad, every time he said this, he was reminding us who we belong to and what we were set to do. What is our calling is to have a good and godly day. Yep. For you leaders out there, just a couple things for you. Start your day with intention. Brady mentioned it. You come in, I already know what you're going to do when you walk in the door. You have a plan. That's how you can be good stewards of this. Have a good and godly day. How you begin the day sets the tone for how you lead it. I mean, we've said this before on a couple podcasts, but people are watching us as leaders. They're watching what we do, how we do things, and how we respond.
More is caught than taught.
That's exactly right.
I literally just heard that the other day with somebody. Like I heard one of our pastors.
Adam, I have told you that like
you told
8 million times.
I know you have. I'm just saying you hear it everywhere. We were talking about, it was something we were talking about, and they were trying to help with someone that was having some issues getting it, and they said the exact same thing. And I promise you, I heard it. I was like, I heard it in my head. I was like, Brady says this all the time. And it was the first time I'd heard it at the church. It was just funny. I heard that, and I immediately thought back. I was like, I feel like Brady's told me this 100 times.
Yep. If you're ending your meeting or a call or whatever, conversations, end it with a blessing with your team. You don't have to say, hey, see y'all later. End it with something that, hope you guys have a good and godly day. Also end the day well. We have an option to plan for tomorrow. What does that look like?
Yep.
So anyway, we want to make sure that whatever we do, I think that, again, going back to the statement, have a good and godly day. How can we make sure it's good, but also make sure it's godly?
No. I mean, the phrase itself, I mean, this is one of those podcasts. It's very simple. I mean, it's a great phrase to think about. It's not a in-depth conversation about it. Like, hey, this is the way you got to think through the things that you've got to put your mindset for the day. And I think that's something that helps a lot of us, because we do. I mean, how often, like, what's the first thing you do in the morning? Think about that. Like, how often do you get up and the first thing you do is pull your phone out, or you look, or you read a message, or you read an email, and then the next thing you know, you've got your day started. We talk about this with the girls all the time. Like, if we wake up in the morning, we have a bad attitude, and we're fighting with each other, and we're arguing over small things.
Oh yeah.
That sets the tone for our day before you even step foot into the school. So then all that snowballs, all those little things, those little agitations, those little snippets at each other. I was like, that's going to carry into class. And it'll carry in your second class and your third class. And we're like, by the end of the day, you're exhausted and you're tired and you're emotionally drained, spiritually drained from the day. So I think being able to take a moment and think through this, I mean, no matter where you are, helps you kind of set the tone for your day and your business, because you're walking in. I think it's a great way to put it is you're also, as leaders, we say the same thing with our kids. We set the example for them. They're going to watch everything that we do and do it themselves. Our staff are going to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Our leaders are going to do the same thing. They see that. They're going to be like, well, I mean, they talk this way to each other. They act this way. Why, I mean, I guess I can do the same thing here. So,
Yeah.
So as we wrap this up, a couple leadership takeaways. Okay, Brady, feel free to jump in, whatever. We believe that good and godly go together.
Mm-hmm.
It's not one or the other. The Sunday-Monday divide is a false one. It's an everyday thing. It's not a pick or choose, everyday thing. A blessing spoken every day becomes a standard way of living every single day.
that's good too.
Faith-driven leadership is measured in tone, not just the outcomes. Outcomes are important, but it's very important. Accountability is a good thing, but you got to remember that everything's measured in tone. So by hearing, have a good and godly day, you could, to your point, you could be having the worst day in your life and you hear that statement or think about it. It could be at lunchtime, could be at 2:00 in the afternoon. Have a good and godly day. I can't, I'm sure Brady's the same way. I can't tell you how many times that I've, looked up through the day and I hear that in my mind. It's like, oh man, this is not bad. Like, it's okay. Everything's going to be all right. Have a good and godly day. It's very encouraging, very encouraging piece.
I mean, our dad knew the scripture. I mean, he knew the word. He studied the word every single day, and I'm sure that I don't know where he came up with this phrase. He might have stole it from somebody or came up with it, but I mean, there's two things that I can think of that would probably apply, but there's another verse that says, we take every thought captive and make it obedient to Christ. So it was like we said, it was a reminder to him, like no matter what he was going through is, okay, I'm taking that thought captive, but it's also, that verse in the Old Testament, I think it's in Psalms, it says, this is the day that the Lord has made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it. Because he was starting his day with, no matter how the day goes, it's still the day that God made.
That's right.
It could go great, it could go not great, but it's still his day. And so, I think that's good not to segment Sunday versus Monday versus Thursday, because they're all his day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So again, as we wrap this up, just a little bit of reflection. All right, listeners, what tone are you setting for your team every single day? Are good and godly traveling together in your leadership? Or are we trying to live in separate lanes? And I understand, Brady and I think we're in this phase many years ago that we were like, we can't do that. Like, but if Chick-fil-A can talk about the Lord, why can we not talk? It's chicken,
Yeah.
There's a way to do it and to help people, right? So what are we want to make sure that we're doing both together. And then today, leaders, what blessing could you start sending people this week? Whether it's a video, whether it's a text, a Slack message, or Teams, whatever tools you use out there, what can you do that? We believe that good and godly day will lead to a lifetime of leadership. As always, we want to say thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Higher Up Podcast. You can subscribe at higheruppodcast.com/subscribe to your favorite platform, Apple, Spotify, or YouTube. And again, thank you so much for tuning in. Go out and choose to live a higher up life and have a good and godly day. We'll see you next time.